back with a new episode from the Take studio. And after a very eventful 2024, we're going to cast some predictions for 2025 with an excellent panel around the chessboard and maybe a little bit surprising gathering of people. First, we have Chief Chess Officer at Chesscom, Danny Rensch. We have the legendary Grandmaster Chess Superstar Levon Aronian, co-founder of Take, Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen, and the other co-founder of Take and CEO, Mats Kristiansen. How are all of you?
Doing great.
Great. Yeah.
Great. I'm glad you're here. Danny, I want to start right away by asking you the question. When you heard Magnus Carlsen was co-founding a new chess company and launching an app, Take, what was your reaction?
Well, I think I knew about it before a lot of other people did. Spent some time actually with Mats in Stavanger for Norway Chess, right? So we kind of knew it was coming, so there was no big surprise on that level. It was a funny story when the announcement was first made. For a lot of people inside the company at chess.com who didn't necessarily know it was coming, there was definitely some conversations I had to have with hey, everybody, we're all on the same page here. Magnus and Team Chess.com and Team Take are all kind of working together to a certain degree in regards to the belief that we need better products for fans to watch chess. There's got to be some ways we can engage them more effectively. For Chess.com, we're excited about partners working in this space because it hasn't been something that we've been able to focus on. Mm-hmm. And so from that perspective, it was kind of like all gravy. Yeah.
Yeah. Magnus, when you decided to co-found this company, were you like, what will Danny think? What will Chesscom think about this?
Well, there was always this thought that we don't ever want sort of this relationship to be adversarial. Mm-hmm. And I think we've had a lot of good conversations about the matter, and we're quite aligned on what we're all trying to do in the chess world. And I think Danny and Chess.com as a whole has been a great partner in this.
Yeah. 2024 was an exciting year for Take. It was launched in October, and here we are ready for 2025. But I want to start talking about 2024. It's been extremely eventful in terms of tournaments. Levon, what has been the highlight for you?
I think winning the American Cup was a good...
Congratulations.
Yes, thanks. Yeah, and I think generally there are many events. Of course, when I don't talk about personal things, of course, the World Championship was pretty big. And
yeah.
I'm actually very happy with the result of the World Championship. Yeah.
Yeah, we now have the youngest world chess champion in history, 18-year-old Gukesh. But for you, Magnus, what has been the highlight in 2024?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think hopefully for me it's yet to come as we're taping this.
Yeah.
I'm starting the Champions Chess Tour final, and then the World Rapid and Blitz. I can say last year that was definitely the highlight for me was winning those events back to back. I mean, there was the World Cup as well, and doing the World Cup is a bit of a drag. It goes on for more than 3 weeks, so I think it was more of a relief than a great joy for winning. So I would echo Levon's sentiment that the World Championship was fun. I would say probably the greatest result of 24 was maybe not the World Championship, but the Chess Olympiad and India's fantastic performance there, winning both gold medals with Gukesh's performance as a clear highlight.
Mm. And then Mats, a big chess fan, but you haven't been in the chess world for that long.
No.
So summing up 2024, what would you say is a highlight?
No, obviously launching Take is the highlight of the year.
Yeah.
With a great World Championship to cover, the excitement around the recaps of Levi and Magnus and Hikaru, and just seeing how the users have so far used the app every day to follow the games, and that's definitely the highlight.
How cool. How about you, Danny? So much has happened for Chess.com as well. Is it even possible to pick a highlight?
It's hard to pick a highlight. I think I'll say that obviously Magnus mentioning the Olympiad, that was going to be, I think, number one for me, the World Championship. Also now going back to India. So shout out to India, I guess, as far as 2024 having a year. But for me personally, I will then, biasly or not, say the Speed Chess Championship in Paris was pretty awesome. I think to see that event that we have long wanted to move out of just being an online event into an esports arena, in our belief in what can be exciting for fans in a live audience experience, and what the future of that format, I think, is kind of made for that. Magnus and I talked about that a couple of years ago when we first kind of brought our two companies together, that the format of the Speed Chess Championship feels like it was designed for that type of thing. And so we're excited to learn from that, to do even better going forward. Obviously, the players there had more attention and hype building toward, Magnus, Hans, Hikaru, Ferrugia. I think you could say that the views continue to speak for themselves, if they will, because that event continues to go down as the most viewed chess event we've actually ever had.
Yeah.
The video on demand on YouTube is still watched more than any other videos we've had. So it's kind of crazy that people really they were hyped for that event.
We actually have Magnus's Speed Chess Championship trophy here in the Take
There you go.
studio. Yeah, it's very cool, and it sort of stands out. It's more colorful. Maybe it represents the new chess that we're going to see, and chess as a spectator sport. Is that something you want, Magnus? Do you want fans cheering you on, being loud when you play chess?
Yeah, I just don't want to hear them.
Yeah, so that's the issue, right?
But I think we've been wanting to do that for years, and I think Paris was a good start. Now we have the Champions Chess Tour final as well with a live audience, and I do think that faster forms of chess. I do think that sort of esports setting is a great way to have it, because you've never really had that in chess, except for, I think, back in the Soviet Union, when they tried to tell people to be quiet, but they wouldn't be, because they were too excited back in the day. Like reading about those old Soviet championships, like that's kind of what you want as a chess player. You want there to be these fans who are simply like too excited to be still, and I think that's hopefully what we're going to see with speed chess events in the years to come.
Yeah. Well, Levon, you're a tennis fan.
Yes.
Tennis is able to do it, right? They fill these enormous stadiums with people being silent when they need to be silent. Could you see yourself sitting at a center court with that kind of crowd watching you?
Well, I think the issue with chess that, unlike tennis, any hint can actually change
That's true.
the game. But we had this event, I think, in Bilbao, where we were in a glass cage. I think that was spectacular, and I think that's a great future. Like somewhere in the if you can actually replicate the same, like being in middle of the city. And being in a glass cage and people cheering up, and especially now when chess is more popular, I think that, I know it's expensive, but I think it's kind of worth it.
Yeah. Mats, you've said you want to fill Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, that line sort of sticks with me.
yeah, you're always going to be asked about that.
Yeah, no, I think you should be allowed to dream, right? And have some big goals, and to have 10, 15,000 people spectating a live chess game in a glass box, or like chess boxing with headsets on or something. I think that would be spectacular, and I think chess has it sort of in it to be able to get there. And I'm excited about sort of the Speed Chess Championship, the Champions Chess Tour, and that we're sort of trying to take chess to a level of spectating. Also with the World Rapid and Blitz coming up in New York. I think the one thing is the events, but also the locations that you choose, and for spectators to be able to get there. The candidates that were in Toronto this year, seeing Gukesh leaving the arena or the playing hall with all the fans coming out. I watched on YouTube that he came back to India last night with all the fans. So I think there are spectators and fans in chess as well. You just need to to facilitate and make it accessible for folks to join.
You need to give them a ticket, basically, and
Yeah.
they're ready, right? All right. So maybe not Madison Square Garden in 2025, or maybe, who knows? But it's coming up.
Yeah.
And it's not as eventful in terms of World Championship match and candidates, but there's going to happen a lot in 2025. Chess is on a roll. Some people saying that maybe the second big boom after COVID and after Queen's Gambit could be coming. There's some Netflix shows coming out. So 2025 will be another good chess year. I'll start with you, Levon. What are you looking forward to? What are your plans for 2025 that you can reveal already now?
Well, I'm definitely excited about the Freestyle chess tour.
Yeah.
I think that's just amazing that we get the opportunity to play this game that I always felt is my favorite version of any game in the world. And so that's in February. Okay, I think there's also World Cup and Grand Suisse. There are some tournaments to look forward to. For me, I'll also be defending my title. I mean, the American Cup. So, so far it's pretty good. But the most exciting I am, of course, about the Freestyle.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge, right? 5 tournaments to decide the official Freestyle World Champion. It's an official title that you're missing, Magnus. How hungry are you for that in 2025?
No, this is certainly a dream come true. Like Levon, I do think that this is both. I think one of the it's a great game, but it's also like in terms of chess, it's the kind of the purest form because it's slow. Like chess was originally like you have to think from the start because chess was supposed to be hard, but nowadays like you've had to sort of make chess faster because normal chess like it's kind of too easy when you're playing it at longer time controls. But here there's not going to be such a thing as opening theory, not even openings. In a lot of games it simply feels like you're starting from the middle game, especially when you have these positions where the king is almost at the edge and the rooks are right around it, which basically means that you've pretty much castled. Like it's just a very different game. And I think for Levon and I, we are both we've both like played top level chess now for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I think we're both like a little bit jaded of all, even like it was so much easier even back then, like 10 years ago even, that there are so many things that were playable then that are not playable now, and you sort of have to dig further and further. And you see that, I mentioned this before, you've seen that in the World Championship. And we're saying, like, classical chess, it is still viable in the sense that a lot of people play it, the fans still love it, and so on. And for most people playing, it is a great game. But I think for us, we feel like we're with this game, we're able to play a game that's just a bit better. And this does not go for faster chess. For faster chess, we see that normal chess works excellently. But I do think that, like, this is why we're so excited about it, because we're basically just playing a form of chess that is better.
Brain against brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is freestyle chess what really shows who is the best chess player in the world, Danny? Because it is simply, there is no opening prep. It doesn't matter how much time you spent before. It is brain against brain.
As a commentator, I will say that, Magnus broke down, I think, how the players feel. I think as a commentator and looking at it, I would say that Magnus described the evolution very well. Chess was meant to be slow because it was really hard to figure out. Then preparation solved enough of it that the only way to put pressure on these guys was to speed up the game in order to introduce the variance and the fun that you wanted to see, the drama of blunders and brilliancies. And now we're at a point where we are seeing the creativity back in a classical setting. So as far as whether it decides the best player in the world, I mean, these guys would probably have to say, I would say that I think we're probably at a stage where we're talking about different types of best players. You have who's the best. I mean, there may be a world where we're saying this is the classical chess world champion. This is the best speed chess player on the planet, and this is the best. I don't really know. I mean, I think Magnus would probably say that the creativity that freestyle brings definitely decides who the most, I guess, critical thinker is. How would you describe it? As far as, would you say that freestyle?
Yeah. Well, these are different things, right?
Yeah.
Because faster chess, it is a sport. It is like it's sort of a pure sport game kind of thing. But when you get to longer forms of freestyle, it becomes like more science, art. So it's like there's a little bit of a different skill set, and it's hard to say exactly what measures the best player overall. Probably, I would say that right now, like if you want to have like more of a if you want the kind of chess in which you need like the most well-rounded game, probably right now classical chess as it is probably the worst way, because it is too forgiving. It's too easy to mask the deficiencies in your game. And I do think if you're able to handle both faster chess and freestyle, like you have covered a lot of bases. You do have your like basic pattern, quick tactics. You have to be able to strategize, to calculate, even like being able to recognize different patterns in the opening from. So I think that will cover a lot of bases. Obviously, it's a bit self-serving. Are the types of chess that I want to play, but I really believe that we'll get to see that this will show something that isn't being shown right now.
Yep. Sorry for punting around. I was more curious. I'm curious what you think about that too, in terms of, because I agree with Magnus, especially that you could argue that classical chess as it is, regardless of the debate, maybe there's a reason we have a couple players who are not the best players in the world playing for the match. There's something to the discussion that classical chess, especially with preparation and the fact that they are not put in those adrenaline-dropping, sports challenging moments anymore. It's maybe there's an argument that classical chess is probably not the best way to determine who the best chess player in the world is.
100%.
Yeah.
If we think about this, if we take a well-disciplined guy, let's say a level of, 2600, who studies in the openings, improved Tarish, CD, and he studies against D4 to play the Petrov 95-94. So basically, if we train a guy like this, he'll be able, let's say, in 80% of the time to make a draw against top 10 players.
Yeah.
And that's not what we want to see, I think, as chess fans. I don't want to see the weaker player completely neutralizing a stronger player.
Take the life out of the game to a certain degree.
Yeah. Then it becomes, I think, like there are certain sports that went into that, and then suddenly the sport became just too boring. I know a bit about wrestling. When you have this rules and the classical Greco-Roman wrestling, when you change the rules and you make them concentrate on getting the points, it becomes much less of a sport like boxing,
Mm-hmm.
Why is MMA so much more exciting, Because it's basically freestyle chess. And the regular boxing is the classical boxing that can turn into a very, like, a boring technical game.
Yeah.
And
Great comparison.
And this is where we're talking about esports earlier as well. Like in esports, very often what's exciting for people is that you have a new map for every game. And and you get that with freestyle. Another point that I would like to make is that it's easy to say, we're older, maybe we're a bit lazy, we don't want to do this preparation thing anymore. But we're also seeing that in the World Championship, there was clearly one player who had a bigger team, who spent more time on preparation. But you're not rewarded in the same way as you were in the past. Because as Levon says, it's not hard actually to prepare good openings now for Black. Back in the day, it used to be super hard. If you're playing somebody like Gary in a World Championship, like chances are that he's going to put a ton of pressure on you with the white pieces. But now it's just very hard. So Gukesh's team, they worked super hard. I think they did an incredible job. But what you end up coming up with is Rook is ideas like Rook E1 as he played in that Grunfeld type of position where this is sort of idea that it can work amazing for one game, and it's really impressive that they come up with it, but it has like no more value than a one game surprise. Like that's really all you can do.
Freestyle chess happening. It's going to be huge in 2025. Take will be a partner of Freestyle Chess. So, Mats, what are the plans for this new company and the app?
For Freestyle specifically, we will cover all the events. But as we also launched on the press conference in Singapore, we will do a custom fantasy chess league, which is sort of how all of this originated with Magnus's vision for having fantasy as a game on top of chess. So for Freestyle Chess, you will be able to build a team of your favorite players playing in Freestyle, and you can give them certain objectives on the board or for the certain games. So I think that will bring a lot of the fan excitement to that game as well. For me, as chess fan, I find Freestyle a little bit harder to understand and follow. So what we'll do in the app as well is to help the fans understand what this position is, how many times it's been played before, what are the weaknesses and strengths for the white and the black in that certain position, because it's very hard for me to understand if having the king in the corner is a good or a bad thing. So I think the fans need a little bit more explanation and context to understand the games. And I think
the players could probably use that as well.
And the commentators, everyone
should. Yeah. But I think then if you as a fan can then sit in Magnus's shoes or Aronian's shoes and think like they are thinking, then it will be more exciting as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And Guess the Move is coming out as well. For when we're recording this, it's before the CCT finals. People will actually be able to play Guess the Move.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
Yeah, Guess the Move is something I hear that's been around for forever. It's a feature on chess.com as well, where you could spectate a game and you could move the pieces and kind of guess on the exact move that they're gonna play. We're making it a little bit different. There's a Norwegian company called Kahoot, which is a big quiz company that serves quizzes. So basically, our Guess the Move will be that you can see the top 3 moves from the engine, and you can select which of these 3 moves you think the player is going to play, or you have a 4th option, which is anything else.
Yeah.
And I tested this weekend with my 6-year-old, and she's able to play it. And she found it quite fascinating that she could kind of predict and get a green or a red bar depending on if it was the right or the wrong moves. I hope that it's going to help fans to kind of get a bit more skin in the game and be excited about every move that's on the board.
Yeah,
it's quite addictive. So
I know.
If I may add to this, I think like many things that were invented in chess, together with the freestyle chess and the time increment. Guess the Move, I think, was also invented by Bernstein. He used to have those wagers with the fellow grandmasters, and they would be looking. I think they were looking at the games of the ladies' highest league,
Really?
and they would put money. Yes, and because the ladies were not as good back in the day as they are now, so they would put money like their let's say 5 grandmasters on guessing the moves, and every time, I mean, the guess was right, the money would go to the person who did the right guess.
Wow. I had never heard that.
Yeah.
It's very cool, right? Because it's the thing, you have to be tactical as well. It's not always in a chess position that you want to make maybe the top computer move. You maybe want to, you know...
Yeah, also sometimes we don't see the top computer moves.
Of course. And I can tell you, I'm watching commentator or chats in YouTube, Twitch, whatever, and people are like, why didn't he play E4? That was by far the best move. Well, now you can guess it.
armchair chess engines.
Yeah.
You know, like armchair quarterback. So we have a lot of those, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. I really love that product idea. I think, and also getting it to pass the smell of a 6-year-old is actually, I think that's genius. And I think engaging on that level of also the reward if they get it right is something that we never quite dialed in properly. I think there were a number of things that we always wanted to do, and I really like that. So I'm excited to see that.
The reason we did it like that was because in games you need to be rewarded, right? You don't want to make a mistake all the time, and giving you all, as a fan and a beginner player, all the options, then you are almost certainly going to be wrong all the time. So limiting it to the top moves from Stockfish and then having a button to like, no, it's going to be something else, makes it fairly, like it's a 25% chance that you're going to get it right.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Have you downloaded the app?
I have.
What do you think?
I love it. Honestly, I've enjoyed. I've watched a number of their recap videos. Magnus and Levy. I think that one of the really great things you did right at launch was allowing fans to follow the players so that they can be notified when they go live. And I think that is a feature that will only... I mean, has Magnus even played an event yet since it's been live?
Yeah, Tata Still India.
Tata Still.
Okay, so one event. Okay. I
Did
think
you get a notification?
Well, I'm saying it because I was drawing attention to the fact that...
He's not a Magnus fan.
I was pointing out that the follow notifications for Magnus, I think he has a lot of followers already. So I am a fan. I am following, but I don't think I started following until after Tata Still India. And the point is, when the World Rapid and Blitz comes and when fans are seeing real-time notifications, I'm really excited to see how that goes. So
awesome.
Again, features that we never had on chess.com, which is exciting to see in real time how it's bringing audiences in and keeping them watching the game. So,
but there's no lack of features at chess.com. You are obviously focusing on your play zone, but there's so much else happening as well in terms of content, organizing tournaments, commentating on tournaments. What are the main plans for Chess.com in the coming year, Danny?
Well, very big things happening this year, as was actually just announced. The future of the Champions Chess Tour is now in a partnership with the EWC, which is the Esports World Cup. And given the conversation we had here organically about the future of chess, the esports format itself maybe being designed for chess to take one of those stages, we couldn't be more excited about it. I know I don't want to speak for Magnus. He can give his thoughts on it. But I think for us, I'll say two things. One, we never really wanted the online chess world to in some ways be competing with the over-the-board chess world. I think that from our perspective, chess.com is a platform that is here to help engage and to help inspire people to get better, and where possible, to serve the over-the-board chess community by bringing them audiences. And that was historically what we did. If you look at our broader sort of 15-year legacy, we covered events that existed in the chess world. When we started doing our own, first it was like the Speed Chess Championship, and then eventually, the Magnus Carlsen company launched the Magnus Tour. And at some point, we all started doing really exciting things online that I think helped influence and kind of bring some innovation to what we now have. And what we now have is actually a very busy calendar with freestyle chess entering the market, more events than ever. You have the Tech Mahindra Global Chess League, which is exciting and bringing some different angles. I could go down the list. The reason I'm saying that is because one of the things we wanted to accomplish with 2025 was in some ways choose quality over quantity. We wanted less to be more. We didn't want to be competing with organizers for dates, but we still wanted our events to do innovative things that were original, that help grow the game and bring new audiences in, because that's something we care about. And the partnership with the EWC, we feel checks all those boxes. It's going to lead to a shorter Champions Chess Tour, but still big prize money for the top players in the world to qualify their way to the live final in Riyadh, which will be a big deal for chess to be on the stage with so many other esports and some of the biggest brands in the world, meaning esports brands and esports teams that have been doing this for a long time. So I'm really excited about it. I think that it's going to be the next step in terms of innovation for chess as an esport. I know Magnus shares the same vision, and so that's the biggest news coming to 2025 is that the Champions Chess Tour will be a part of the Esports World Cup.
Wow.
Amazing.
Excited about this, Magnus.
Yeah, for sure. I've been part of this process now for a while already, and what can I say? I've wanted chess to be more and more in an esports format, and now we're getting exactly that with a live audience, an audience that is there, used to cheering on their favorite players, and I think it's gonna be a great thing for chess. As Danny said, we're doing this now with a Speed Chess Championship, which I think was great, but I think we can do even better, because certain things came together a little bit last minute in terms of, can the audience see us, all the sounds and everything. So I think in this case, like we have a lot of time to prepare, and we can really do this the right way.
Wow. Exciting news, Danny. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And you mentioned the Speed Chess Championship. I should say we also plan to do another live Speed Chess Championship, which isn't news that has broken yet, but we are planning that. So for chess.com, it'll be the Champions Chess Tour, the partnership with the EWC, another Speed Chess Championship live, hopefully, and then continuing to partner with and help the broader chess community grow is sort of where we see the future going. So.
Mm-hmm. So when we sit together in a year from now, hopefully, and we're finishing up 2025, Guess the Move is out there, Fancy Chess is out there, Freestyle Chess is happening, and live events and chess becoming even more esports with chess.com. What is the end goal with all of this? Is it that we are going to have a lot of fun and travel to a lot of really cool events? Or is it to grow chess? Or is it to give better chess to the existing community? What would you say is your goal with
I
Danny?
think it's a good question. Reassessing goals at the end of a year as you prepare for a new year is something we do in personal and professional ways. But I think for us, the goals remain the same. And we've said it many times. We are here to serve and to grow. Mm-hmm. And I think we will hopefully look back and say that this continued to serve the professional community. Because when we speak of service, obviously, we want to serve all of our members with a great product and a great website that helps them get better. But for us, service actually focuses mostly on the professional community. We feel like these guys are the influencers of tomorrow. They're the ones inspiring the next generation. And so we've always looked at events. In some ways, we use the term loss leader in business, but it was because we weren't necessarily looking to make money on events. As long as we were serving the professionals and they were happy and motivated to keep playing, they're doing the job for all of us to keep people playing chess by inspiring others. So I think that this will be a year where we've served the community and we've served the top players. There's more money than ever in the game.
Yeah.
I think there's more opportunities than ever for these guys, which makes me excited. And then it should grow, the audience. And I think one thing I'm super excited about with the Esports World Cup is that, we quickly check the boxes of saying this is a big stage and these are some of the biggest esports brands. They really are. I mean, we're talking tens of millions of more fans who, as Magnus said, are used to cheering loudly. And if we were ever looking for an opportunity to test this vision out, will we get chess in Madison Square Garden one day or not? I think this is a stage that unarguably puts chess alongside League of Legends, alongside Call of Duty, alongside whatever you want to call it. I don't know all the properties they have there, so I'll stop speaking there. But the point is there's going to be a lot of great games and a lot of great sponsors. You're talking about some of the biggest brands and some of the biggest companies in the world that are excited to be associated with this event. Mm-hmm. And so from a growth perspective, we're not just talking about eyeballs and fans. We're talking about partnerships. We're talking about ways for chess to be viewed at a little bit of a higher stage, and from a commercially viable sport. I think we're going to look back at 2025 as maybe the biggest year, the biggest step we've taken in quite a while.
Oh, I love it. Levon, do you get excited hearing this stuff? You've been in chess through some generations. You've seen the computer age start, and then here we are. Do you get excited about it?
Absolutely, yeah. I think chess is definitely growing, and such opportunity to join a global community of the gaming world and the esports. I think that's what definitely. I mean, that's very, very positive. And it definitely helps the over-the-board chess as well, because people get to know us and they will start following us, hopefully. So yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Awesome.
We also have a new world champion that I think will inspire quite a few people in 2025.
With the small country of India.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Little upstart country.
Yeah. Huge stuff will happen there as well. We're going to round it up, you guys, but I want to finish up with a little bit of a personal question. And I'll start with you, Danny, because you're very used to being in front of the camera. What is your New Year's resolution?
Oh, my gosh. It'll sound a little bit odd being here on what feels like the tail end of 2 months of nonstop travel, but I am actually hoping to get just more time at home. A little bit less travel in 2025 would make me and my wife and kids happy, I think. Although maybe not. Maybe they're fine with it. So I don't know. But I'm a little exhausted coming to the end of this year. I'm looking forward to some balance and hopefully a little bit of once some of these big things are maybe set in motion, it'll mean a little bit less traveling for me personally. That would be my New Year's resolution.
Yeah, Mats, you're working a little bit yourself.
Yeah,
How about
it's
you?
been quite busy the past months, but I'm loving this part of the journey, the beginning. But I think I also want to see my kids a little bit more going into next year. So that's an ambition. But yeah, there's another baby as well now with Take.
There definitely is, yeah.
Need to pay attention to that.
Yeah. And Levon, how about you? New Year's resolution?
Yeah, I'm generally excited. I think 2024 was a pretty good year for me. And I look for more of the same. Hopefully, I'll get more opportunities to play. I think 2024, I was training and working, but I didn't have many opportunities to play. But this is what excites me, getting a chance and showing that, my passion for the game is there. And I love what I do, and I'm grateful. So being grateful and having opportunities.
I love that. That's beautiful, Levon. And finally, Magnus, what's your New Year's resolution?
I wish I had some original thoughts on my own, but honestly, like what you guys are saying about traveling a little bit less and spending some more time at home sounds really, really good. I know that's not realistic, but I think that would be a good start to the year at the very least. But I think it's going to be a great year for chess, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah. And it's so nice to sit around the table. We're all friends and we're all excited about 2025. Thank you to everyone for following, for watching. We hope you will enjoy everything chess in 2025 as well.